Oh, hello, everybody. Welcome to Remember 64, where this week we are tanks. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the show. Hello again if you're a returning listener or viewer, and welcome if this is your first time joining us on Remember 64. Here on the show, we play and discuss the good, the bad, the ugly, and everything in between in the Nintendo 64's library. My name is David Petrangelo, and I'm harnessing the power of U2. Yes, that's right, the band U2, to gain the power of the Edge. I'll shred synth guitar solos and combine powers with my post-apocalyptic wife to save our son from this crazy-looking wild gangs throughout this crazy worldwide war. Cheeky look back. Hello, how are you?
Oh, I'm doing fantastic. I'm building a tank from some random pieces of scrap I found in the trash over there.
Ooh,
It's great. It's going to be awesome. And I'm defending the 1% of womankind.
that's
So call
right.
me a feminist, I guess. Here we go.
There's the title. There's the title of the show. I was trying to brainstorm one. I always do. And call me a feminist, I guess, might just be the winner. If anyone doesn't know, and I said the word tank, so maybe, but we're talking BattleTanx. We're actually talking the two BattleTanx games that came out for the N64, which I was unaware of. I thought there was only one. But we're going to talk about those two games. They've actually been requested by a couple of people, and I found out over the last couple of weeks that these are games that people have a lot of fondness for, which for me, I had zero going into this, and we'll talk about that. But going to do a little bit of housekeeping off the top, because if you're watching the video of this and even hearing it, it might sound a little bit different in the intro and things like that, just a touch. But that is because Remember 64 has joined the Console Creatures family of podcasts and gaming coverage. This is a small indie outlet that I've been working alongside for the past pretty much as long as Remember 64 has been going, largely covering newer games. The retro scene, every once in a while, I'll pop in and sort of do some talk and some writing about that. But reviewing newer games, indies, big titles, all that kind of stuff. And two other podcasts, also part of Console Creatures, which is the Creature Cast, which I sort of dabble in every once in a while, but helped get off the ground a couple of years ago, and PlayStation Generation. So those are two shows that you can also find in the Console Creatures family. Both are on all podcasts, also on the Console Creatures YouTube page as well for video versions. Just a group of really, really good guys from my general area here in the Toronto area in Canada. So just been working alongside all these guys for a while, and I thought, it's been hard to, on a personal level, it's been hard to sort of schedule myself being on those shows anymore, just with work and with the kid and things like that. So I thought, me and Jiggy have a pretty good thing going where we pick a day, we pick some games, we do it a couple of weeks ahead of time, and we just sort of pick a thing in the evening, and we seem to sort of be able to work that out. So I figured, let's bring some retro to a Console Creatures family here. So that's what we're doing. You can find all the work, some of my writing, all those guys' writings, and of course the podcast at consolecreatures.com. And you can check Console Creatures on YouTube as well. That's where you can find everything. The show's not going to change. Everything's going to be the same here. It's going to be me and Jiggy. The only thing that might happen is we'll have a couple of the guys that I work with, the Console Creatures, pop on every once in a while, or a little more than they would have otherwise. I'm going to try and do that as soon as possible. Not sure which game exactly, but we have a couple of big titles coming up. So I figured, I'll reach out to them and see who's around when, and we'll figure that out. But otherwise, the show's going to be the same. Format's going to be the same free flowing conversations about random games and the good, the bad, the ugly, and the in between. So, yeah, that's the big news of the week, sort of thing. So, here we are. We're using a new software to record and get the video going, so it's going to look a little bit different, kind of sort of have some synergy with the way the other shows work and stuff like that too. And every once in a while, I might have some kinks to work out, but largely speaking, this stuff has been working really well with how they've been doing their shows, and we're gonna do it with this one as well. And yeah, that's pretty much it, everyone.
From what I've seen, the production quality is actually going to go up. So
Haha.
it's not just going to be the same, it's going to be better. I'm telling you right now, just looking at us, the look of the podcast is getting a little bump. I'm assuming the quality in general is going to get a bump. And honestly, We're slightly better looking than we used to be. So if you don't believe me, tune into the video part. We'll put it-
I mean, I feel pretty good today, so you know, I think.
I told my wife the other day, I'm like, I'm going into my Jesus phase because my hair is like getting really long. And I literally FaceTime with my mom and I was like, "Hey," and she's like, "Your hair is so long. You look like Jesus." And I was like, "Ah, it's perfect."
It's a phase or it's a way of living, depending on
Yep,
how you look
yep.
at it, right? So
Jesus, Dave Grohl, kind of the vibe.
there you go. I love it. Yeah. Yeah. So no, I think you're right though. I think like there's something about sort of the way that the program that we're using and the way that we're sort of recording this. It's cool. We can do some new things with video, and I'm gonna try and get some different things going as we go along. But yeah, we're gonna keep trekking on and keep doing the Remember 64 thing regardless. And always want to hear from people. So if you got any thoughts, feels, ideas, things like that, always happy to sort of implement those and sort of talk to you. Of course, we have the our voicemail that you can leave comments or talk about the games that we've talked about or might cover in the future and stuff. That's always there. Voicecast.app/remember 64. Honestly, share anything. We have a couple coming up in a couple episodes about some people that comments that have been left and stuff. So look forward to that. And without further ado, sir, I've been yapping for a little too long here. Let's dig into some battle tanks. Let's talk about both games, but I think
Yes.
maybe we'll start from the beginning. We'll start from the first one. So my question to you is this: I've already sort of spilled the beans a little bit, but that I haven't played these games up until the last couple of weeks. But have you? Do you have any experience with this
Nope.
franchise at all?
Never played this. Never played
Ah,
this. I think I've seen I was also not aware that there were 2. It's not a series that I followed or anything, so I had no
right,
idea there was more than 1.
right.
I've seen it. Growing up, I remember seeing BattleTanx, and I'm not sure if it was the original BattleTanx or if it was Global Assault because the covers do look very similar.
They do.
Um,
Yeah.
but yeah, I had 0 experience with this. Um, just kinda went in blind. So,
Yeah. I know, me
yeah.
too. Me
And I
too.
was I was actually like, "This is it is what I expected, but it is also not what I expected." Um,
Yeah.
so yeah.
As much as that's like a very vague way of describing it, I probably would have said the same thing.
Yeah. It it's like it is what you expect, but it goes places you don't expect. It's like,
It
"What?"
starts in places I didn't expect. How about
Yeah.
that?
Yeah.
Like,
It's
that's the
pretty
thing. Actually,
incredible.
I'm gonna pull it up here because now there's playing around with other ways that I can sort of share the screen and stuff like that here. But I have the where did it go now? Oh, this is great. Oh, it's working. It's working. It was working. Anyways, I'm gonna find the manual that I had pulled up because that is how you can really learn about what's going on in these
Oh,
games.
yeah.
So
Gotta bring up that
um
manual.
there it is. Okay, for the first one at least, because it'll give us a little bit of an idea too of kind of why we say that this starts in places we didn't expect, um, because it's it's weird, right? Like it's weird. Um, Battle Tanks instruction booklet. There it is. A game made by 3DO. I
Let me just go back up. Let me describe
Yeah,
this to
yeah.
people who aren't
Yes, who
necessarily seeing
aren't
the visual.
watching.
Okay,
Yes.
we have this gangster looking 90s edge guy inside of a makeshift tank, right? He's holding it. There's a giant explosion behind him. It says battle tanks. It's intense, apocalyptic world. Okay, it looks awesome. That's all you need to know for now. We're about to kill that image for you or enhance it, I guess.
I would say I'd say we could enhance it. Yeah, I think the description could enhance it. I'm gonna go through the booklet a little bit here because I'm pretty sure. Here we go. We got some text about what the game is about. It's a little hard to see on stream. It's a little bit blurry because this is like a PDF version of what the manual is. But I'm gonna go through some notes here, and then I also have an interview with Destructoid from I think it was like 2009 or something like that. That one of the creative directors of the game talked about why they went this direction with the story and why they went so crazy.
I'm so
But
curious.
so first of all, it gives you a little idea of how what the setup of the story is. This is 2 full pages of pretty small print of what the setup is for the story of these games. Now, if you see footage of this, or if you've seen even just the cover or what Jiggy just described a minute ago, you would assume that this is probably a game that doesn't really have much going for it as far as story goes. It's just You're a tank. There's some war. Blow some shit up. Move on with your day. And in some ways, there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, lots of games just in and out, get some action, play some multiplayer, you blow some stuff up, you had a good time, right? Totally fine. Not here. Not here at all. So here we go. This is a little bit of a description. I'll probably jump ahead a couple lines here, but you are Griffin Spade, warrior and battle leader in a post-apocalyptic future. Your destiny is to fight your way across a radioactive wasteland that were once known as America in order to find the woman you love. And then in the sequel, you go to find your son. You can still remember how it all started. The precursor to the apocalypse was a lethal virus that appeared from nowhere, known as X2 virus. That's right. The X-Men have created the apocalypse. It was selective, choosing only females to act as its hosts, which is why Jiggy said the 1%, or isn't it 0.1%? I think it is.
It's something ridiculous. Yeah.
Yeah. Like there's like 5 women in the world or something.
And one of them happens to be our girlfriend.
Just happens to be your girl, of course. The week the news about the virus broke, you had other things on your mind. Madison, the love of your life, had just agreed to marry you, and wedding plans were all you wanted to think about. Your plans are doomed to be delayed by a small matter: the collapse of civilization.
It's hitting too hard.
It's
too real.
It's too, honestly, nowadays, yeah, it kind of is. It kind of just goes from there. It snowballs from there. Let's see what else to say. The world as you knew it is gone, devoured in the purifying fire of nuclear cataclysm. The massive amount of fallout caused catastrophic famine and ecological damage across the entire planet. Over half of the sprawling cities that once consumed the land with their brilliance and innovation are now only rubble. However, the X2 virus is no longer a threat. The few women who have survived its decimation are all immune and infinitely precious to the new surviving men who still populate a desolate Earth.
Mm-hmm.
So the women have all the power, or at least they have a status, a different status, right?
Like
it's so I did not expect this at all.
Yeah, and it really hams it up, like in the beginning cutscene. Like it's really like there's only 0.01% of women left on the earth, and it's like really intense. And it's like people ride around in makeshift tanks, building them from whatever scrap they can find.
That's right.
It's like I remember that detail specifically because I'm like, that's not how tanks work. Like, what?
It's not just arts and crafts. Like,
yeah, I'm like, you're just gonna, let me grab that garbage can lid. Oh, perfect. Chinese takeout box.
Like, it's a good thing I had pizza last night. I got a cardboard box at my
are not equal.
And not going to survive the other tanks that are actual tanks. Yeah.
Right.
It really is. So I think that this is very, in a way, I kept thinking this, especially with the description at the beginning here, and also because of the way it described like what happened or didn't happen to women and stuff, is that this is very Mad Max, but in a more different kind of approach to post-apocalyptic. It's not just deserts, it's not just stuff like that. Very much the more recent Mad Max movies, those two, which are fantastic. I don't know if it's riffing on that at all. I didn't see that anywhere to say like, oh, that was inspiration, but it would not surprise me in the least. Obviously this came out before the new Mad Max movies came out, but those films from the 80s are still very much sort of about that type of idea, and also very hammy and also very corny. And this is essentially, to me, a corny 80s action movie. Like that's what both of these games are.
Yes.
And not to a fault. I think that's a good thing.
Yeah. And you start off in New York. And I think it's worth pointing out because I'm always like, why is New York always the center of everything?
Always.
Like everything bad happens in New York. Like what's wrong with being like in a random place in like North Dakota or something, right? Just where nothing ever happens.
I don't disagree at all, because like it's kind of like, in a way, that almost makes it more interesting when things start in like these small pockets of a country, because it's almost more unexpected. But I guess there's more risk, there's more, potential problems or something. I don't know, something like that.
I
Um,
guess, I don't know.
or or the odds are higher that it's going to
I think
happen.
it's just, like, you can make backgrounds with buildings and it looks cool. I think that's
Yeah.
all it is.
Yeah. And a lot of what you can do in both of these games is knock buildings down.
You
So
start off your journey in Boise, Idaho. It's like
even Boise is too well known. I even know where that is.
yeah, it's hard to think of an obscure town, like,
Just I don't know, pick
some's
some
really
I mean,
small.
pick something in the Dakotas. I would have no
Yeah,
idea where it is.
Dakota just felt right.
Yeah, yeah, somehow.
Nobody ever
There's
goes
two of
there.
them and I still have no idea where they are.
They're somewhere up there, I don't know,
It's somewhere, I don't know, a
just
little so
underneath Canada.
in between the two of us where we sit right now. That's where they
Yeah.
are.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Okay, so that's the setup for the game. I'm not going to go into like huge a description for the second one because the second one is we'll get to it a little bit, but essentially is at the end of BattleTanx or throughout it, you do find your girlfriend and your future wife. The second one picks up a few years later, and you have a child who's like 3 years old or 2 years old or something like that. And one of the lords, which is sort of what they start like naming the women, and are sort of the head of these tank gangs. Because it's not like, oh, you have a gang and you're walking around like the Warriors movie in the 80s where the guys have chains and they have bats, and like that's not one of those. It's not that kind of 80s movie. No, everyone's in tanks of different sizes and different types. So that's kind of where the second one goes, and you go in other parts of the world, whereas the first one you stay within the US. So let's get to the gameplay then. Let's get to that
Okay,
because
I need to premise this
please.
because it's a game that you play as a tank and you don't really have tank controls, which blew my mind.
Oh, that's true. That's
Like,
true. Yeah, I
I
guess
guess I
so.
just expected it to handle, like, utter garbage, and it didn't, and I was like, "Whoa!" It was pretty fast,
Yeah,
actually.
yeah, you do bomb around pretty quickly. That's true. And correct me if I'm wrong. You only have is it one or two different tanks in the first one? I think. I think you're just using the one, right?
Just the one.
Yeah, I think just the one.
I
So
don't think it
so
changes.
yeah. So essentially, what happens is every mission, every level is you gotta destroy this other tank, this base, this kill this boss sort of other tank. Sometimes you have to make it to the other side of a bridge or a runway or something, which I really like those ones in both games. I think it just sort of switches up the focus, I guess, a little bit. They're not all perfect, but whatever. And you're just driving around with your speedy tank that's made out of Chinese leftover boxes, and
Yep.
uh, and you're just kind of blowing up the other tanks that are coming after you. You have a health bar at the top, and you have some power ups that you can pick up, and then you also have a map on your screen as well to kind of give you a general sense of where enemies might be or where you need to go. Pretty basic setup, and the controls are pretty limited as well. Like there's not like you have a ton of stuff you have to manage.
It's
Um,
really weird to me that there's no aiming function, unless I just didn't know, but it's just like you just pick a direction and fire. Um, my heart said, "Hold the R button," or, "Hold the R button and aim," like any other game that's a shooter in any capacity,
yeah,
and you don't.
especially on this console too, right? Like
Yeah,
we've seen that a bunch of times. So
it just doesn't happen. So it's kind of bizarre.
it's so interesting too because I agree. I thought for sure it would be maybe even like one of the C buttons would do that. I played this on the actual 64 and on our EverDrive that we both have, and it
Mhm,
it controls well. Like it's responsive. It's good. Like there's nothing wrong with it, but the approach to not have any other kind of aim, essentially, how we're kind of dancing around it just a tiny bit, but basically you just move with the joystick, and whichever way you happen to be facing is where you control and where you shoot. That's
mhm.
it, right? There's no separate control for the top of the tank, which maybe feels like, oh, that's too advanced for this time. But like Jiki said, there's no other way to do that. Like I feel like there's got to be another control for it. Even if it's a little cumbersome, maybe they found that it was. I don't know, but it does feel kind of weird that like it's only the direction that you're facing. Like you are basically in a vehicle, like a car, and looking straight the entire time. And it kind of takes away from the tank feel, I think,
Mhm.
in both of the games. Um,
Well,
but you know,
what I was kinda joking about is, like, the tank controls, like, this is the game where that actually makes sense,
yes,
and we
that's
don't
right.
have it. You
Yeah,
literally you, like, move forward, and you turn, and the tank, it handles, like, super fast. Like, you turn to the left or right, and you just completely rotate in a direction. It's almost like if you remove the tank skin, you could almost be fooled into thinking it's, like, a platformer like Mario or something, because that's
yeah,
how, like, tight you
yeah,
move really quickly.
yeah,
Um, and then it's just whatever direction you're facing, that's where you fire. And
yeah,
it works. It's not like it's bad or anything. It just kind of throws you off because you really expect it to be different than it actually is. And one thing that also kept screwing me up was, so you press the Z button to shoot like your
yeah,
main cannon, which is fine. That's
yeah.
fine. But your special item is the A button.
Yes, that's right.
And that threw me off. I don't know why I kept wanting to press B. And I know that sounds stupid,
No,
but
I
it's
feel like
just like
I think intuitively, I feel like I did the same thing. I don't remember right off the bat, but I wouldn't be surprised if I did the exact same thing.
I had to get used to it because
Yeah,
I kept missing it. I'm like, why am I not doing this?
right.
And then for some reason my brain flipped and I almost went to like Star Fox controls. And then I hit A for my shooting. And I remember very specifically, I picked up a nuke
Oh,
and I
yeah.
was like, oh, great. And I pressed the A button and I shot it out and it just blew up everything, including myself. And I was like, oh no.
Oh,
But
no.
oh well, what are you gonna do? I still won.
Yeah, yeah,
Chinese takeout box for the win.
it blew the rest of those Chinese, restaurants out of the water. Um,
Mine was the strongest.
that's strongest chicken balls in town. Spiciest wonton soup. It was,
In a
yeah,
box. In a
it's
box.
in a box. Soup in a box. Here you go.
Yes.
It's
Thank
leaking all over the
you.
doorstep. What the fuck is this? Like, I'm sorry, it's
Strong
all we
box.
had left. I'm going to war with you, buddy. You delivered my soup in a box. Yeah, it's okay. So the main thing, honestly, the main thing with these two games is I played through, I want to say an hour and a half to 2 hours of the first one, and then I pretty much just played the second one.
Mm,
It is a far better game. It's far superior to the first one.
more
It
variety.
more variety. It still controls the same way.
Mhm.
It still has, like I said, a very similar type of setup. But there's more variety in the weapons, there's more variety in the tanks, like things like that. So my focus of my time was with the second one, and I'm gonna play video of it because I can, because yeah,
Yeah.
it's just a YouTube long play, but still. Um, so yeah, so when you're playing through the second one, you're playing through Global Assault. That's what it is, Global Assault. Um, if you've played the first one at all, which we would have pretty close back to back. There you go. 5 years ago, a plague killed 99.9% of all women. The world tore itself
99.9. So
apart,
yeah,
fighting over the few
0.1%.
survivors. Yeah. Eventually, nukes were used, and the apocalypse was upon us. There you go. That's the setup. It's kind of reminding you of what happened in the first. You don't. You know what? You don't even have to play the
My
first. It
name is
tells you what
Griffin
happened.
Spade.
He's a battle
No, you
lord.
have to play the first. You got to get all these important minor details throughout the game. You're only getting a summary here. It's important.
That's true.
You
Yeah.
got to find Griffin's journey.
But lately, I've been seeing an evil face in my dreams. I believe we're going to have a fight again, or have to fight again. Um. So yeah, let's 2006. By the way, the second one takes place in
Mm.
2006.
Okay, this
So
cracked me up. This
okay,
art right here.
yeah, okay.
She looks
So
like Slid the Sloth with a wig.
I don't know what she looks like. Like, what is with, like, what's going on? Unless we don't have the deep lore of the BattleTanx universe, where this individual has been affected by the nuclear waste and apocalypse
Or
and
the
deformed their face. Because honestly, it
women that
looks,
survived the X2 virus are horribly disfigured.
yeah, that's what it looks like. That's exactly what it looks like. It's weird. It's so, and it's very specifically, like, the eyes are like squished but also stretched at the same. I don't really understand what they're trying to do and why they thought that this looked at all
It's so funny.
it's like, I guess,
There's got to be some plot point we just didn't pick up on or didn't pay attention to. Like
I don't
it's got to be something.
I don't know, because if I flip back to, if I keep doing a visual thing here for mostly audio listeners, but if I go to the thing here, the manual, the manual has a, whoops, flip to the manual, damn it. There we go. Has some other pictures of other of the gangs and stuff like that from the first one,
Mhm.
at least. These look kind of cool. Like, these are sort of like really sort of badass looking gang,
90s comic
so
book
90s.
like
Yeah.
awesome. Yeah.
Like Psycho Brigade. Look at these guys. These guys are awesome. Those are sick looking guys, right? Like, some of these enemies look like they're from like Battletoads or Double Dragon or something like that. Sort
That's
of
where
like
it looks. Yes.
art style. Like, that's what it reminds me
Mhm.
of. You can hear that sort of like rock music behind it and stuff, which this game also has. But then when you go in game and you see like these faces, it's like, what the fuck is happening
Yes,
here?
audio listeners, it really like I am painting a glorious picture for you. This is a woman, okay? So picture Black Widow, okay? Like the Marvel character Black Widow, right? So picture that look, but picture the face is Sid the Sloth. So you have Sid the Sloth from Ice Age with everything else Black Widow. That's what you got.
Yeah, pretty much. Pretty much. If you had it in a 3D realm, that's exactly what
And
you would
it's
get.
fun if you play back this game, you can read the dialogue as Sid the Sloth. Yeah. Get ready to attack, warriors, but wait for my signal.
No, keep going. Keep going. I
I
like
want to
keep going.
take one last look at the target. The last target.
And it's funny because it's not really like the main character and his wife don't look that way. It seems to be all the enemy characters kind of have these
Mhm.
looks, especially the female enemy characters. And then this look at the top is cool. Like, that's a cool style and everything. The sort of like larger splash screen that they have above the dialogue box. Like, great. Why doesn't the rest
Mhm.
of this shit look like that? I don't know. It's weird. Um, so the other story part of this, and I keep going into the story. I know a lot of these games are really like, these games are mostly about the gameplay, but the
Like,
story
yeah.
thing. But the reason why there's a story part to this is because the edge, which I referred to in my stupid little spiel at the beginning. One, the U2 joke is the guitarist names himself the Edge for some reason, so that's where that came from. Jokes are always the funniest when you explain them, and
Mhm. I've heard that.
your I've heard that. Yeah, yeah. And apparently, Griffin Spade and his wife have powers, and the kid has powers like that can blow up and control other enemies and tanks and stuff like that. And that's the big reveal here. And eventually, you get to use it, but we'll get to that because that's something that happens a little bit later and stuff. So, BattleTank Global Assault. Did you find this to be better? Because I definitely did.
Yeah, it was. It was. Like
Yeah.
almost right off the get-go.
Yeah.
I felt like the first game was just very straightforward.
Hmm.
Like it was very like drive here, shoot this. And then the second one, it immediately gives you more variety and options for tanks, which gets you a little excited.
Yeah, which I didn't realize off the bat. So in the first one, like we mentioned, you're just playing as a very like what you would think is a very basic tank. You're like essentially a rectangle driving around. That's what it is, right? And you start that way in Global Assault, and eventually you go to maps where you're like defending your base a little bit more, which I believe was still an option in the first one, but happens in much more levels here. And every time, instead of giving you like 5 lives, essentially, you have these things that are called, I think, tank bucks is what they call them. Um, Something like that,
Yeah,
where
something like that.
yeah, where you collect, you can find them around the maps that you're playing on, and you start with like 50 or some number like that, right? And every time you happen to die, you can choose, you can spend that sort of in-game currency, or that only exists within that one particular level. It resets every level. And each tank, depending on which one you pick, has a different cost to it. So the basic one has 20 or 25. Let's say you start with 100, 20 or 25. The larger ones that eventually you get cost like 40 or 35. Small ones that are a little weaker or are speedier, but they're, you know, don't take as much damage, might be worth 10 or something like that. And I found like I didn't realize at first that that was even the thing. I was like, oh, I'm just gonna pick this. I'm gonna pick this, and I realized, oh shit, my numbers keep going down,
Yeah.
and I
Yep.
can't pick certain
Mhm.
ones. Um, but I actually thought that that was a pretty innovative way of doing it, and sort of forcing you to play different tanks. So I enjoyed that.
Yeah, it's cool. It's always good to have variety. I think that adds, especially with something like this that's very straightforward.
Hmm.
Um, yeah, I think that gives it an edge in and of itself. As far as like the main draw, right? Why people would want to play this game, I honestly think this is a multiplayer sort of focused game. This is the type of game you sit down with your friends and you play and you just battle each other over and over and over. I think the story is cool that they have one, but it's silly and
Hmm.
it's just a mode to play. But I think the main draw would be definitely a multiplayer experience, and that would be totally the way to play these games. Just talking about gameplay, I'm like, this is a multiplayer game written all over it, like
Yeah,
both of
like
them.
it acts like it feels that way right from
Yeah.
the start. Like even if you never touch the multiplayer, which I don't know, did you try at all? Because in the second one, at least, I didn't try it in the first one. But in the second one, you can play against bots, which I didn't realize at
Oh no,
first.
I didn't. I didn't.
Yeah,
I
it's
didn't try
not.
it. I just know.
Yeah, and I've heard, and I mentioned earlier how like some people have said like sort of reached out on social media, and I have a friend Ian that's on another podcast that I do back in my day who said like when I started doing Remember 64, it's like, oh, you got to do Battle Tanks. You got to. I used to play that all the time, and I was like, what the fuck is Battle Tanks? Like that was pretty much like the first time I heard of
Mm,
it, or the first time I was aware that anybody even cared what it was.
yeah,
This is one of those games where it's like, oh, I've seen the cover, but I know nothing about it. Like that.
exactly.
That's
I'm
pretty much
like,
what it
I
was.
don't think I can't think of one friend I had growing up that was like, "Oh, the battle tanks."
Yeah, no,
Like there's
no.
no this was not a thing for us, but I could see this being a fun multiplayer shootout,
Yeah,
honestly.
so there's a bunch of different modes for it too. It's not just like a deathmatch thing. Some of them are like protect your base, like you do in a lot of the in the single player and the campaign and stuff like that. So
Mhm.
that's kind of cool. You can play with four people, which is interesting too. That's always fun. The more the merrier. And I played a little bit with the bots. It feels even more like it's almost like the AI for the bots is even crazier than it is in the solo stuff because I think they're trying to like emulate
A
random
person, yeah.
decisions and like they what multiplayer would be. So the idea of it is cool. We just didn't get our hands on like an actual multiplayer experience, but I could see why it could be fun because there's variety in the game modes. And like we were just talking about, there's a variety in the type of tanks too. So you can go and still pick your own tanks. You can go and find different weapons and things like that, just like you can in the single player. But you can blow shit up with other people or against other people, and that's always cool. So um
Yeah, and this also had a Game Boy Color variant.
I
Did you
played it.
play you
Oh,
played
I
it?
did. You know me. I always go straight if there's a handheld version of a game, I do my best to try and at least play some of them. And
Yeah.
I love me my Game Boys. So,
I just watched I didn't play it. I just watched some video on it.
yeah.
Um, but yeah, it looks like a top-down, really basic, like, drive around,
It's
shoot tank, top-down view, like RC Pro-Am style sort of thing.
yeah. I thought like the first two GTAs, it looks kind of like that. You're not getting out of your tank and running around, but kind of top down stuff. It's Game Boy Color, not Game Boy Advance, so you can only get so much done with the sprites and things like that. So it's
Yeah,
pretty basic in that way. It's fun though. Like it never felt like I wasn't bored. I think I played it for just under a couple hours, probably. Like not like a ton of time, but it was a good time killer, I would say. It's worth giving a try if I emulated it on my little GBA style Ambernick that I have. So
nice.
I played it on a small handheld, which was cool and ran well. It was fine. It follows the same story. Like it's really just trying to do a couple of the solo missions from the first game. And what's funny is we're talking about sort of how it controls and stuff. It controls like the first game does.
Yeah,
It is, even though it's like top down and very basic, it controls just like the first. Not that the second
nice.
one controls largely different. Not that Global Assault's massively different in its controls, but
Yeah, gameplay is very similar.
Yeah, but
Very similar.
it does feel a little bit better. I found the second one. It just runs smoother. Things don't feel quite as chaotic in some ways, but yeah, the Game Boy Color one's worth a shot. I think. I think you'd probably just be better to spend most of your time playing Global Assault, but I found that the variety in tanks is one thing, and then we can talk about the weapons too, because that's like the items that you pick up, because that creates a lot. So the tanks, did you have a favorite? I don't remember all the names, but was there like a style that you like? Was it just the basic one, or did you care?
Yeah, I'll be honest, I stayed with the basic. I'm like, I'm just gonna get in there and shoot stuff and just progress and see what happens.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it's the most reliable. Like, it's easy to control. It takes a decent amount of damage. It has a very basic sort of tank weapon at the front.
Yeah,
You don't have to think about it
good
too much.
old
Like
reliable.
yeah, all reliable. You know what to expect, right? Is what
Yeah,
it is. I think that's part of it. And there's so much sometimes in some of these levels, there's so many enemies firing at you that to think about what you need to do, you'll
yeah,
be dead really quickly. Like
exactly.
they're not super easy, these games.
And you know what this actually reminded me of? And I did have this thought when I was playing it.
Yeah.
Um, the in Batman Arkham Knight, there is the
Yes.
Batmobile like battle sequences against the enemy tanks. It's very much like a honestly, it's a watered down version of that. Um, but it's
You mean
like
Arkham is a watered down version of this, right?
no, I actually don't, unfortunately. That's like a side thing in that game, and it's like way more in depth.
Yeah.
But the like basic shot, the basic cannon that you have,
Hmm.
it gave me that Arkham feel, and like that's what I felt like comfortable with. But I know there's like because there's like a flamethrower, right? And like a
Yeah, the
machine
flamethrower.
gun.
I'm gonna pull it up. Battle tanks
One
global.
like some of the accessory weapons that you get that you can just like launch because you can pick up like other weapons too. It's not like you're stuck with one weapon.
That's right. That's right. So
Because
here, hold on. Let the tanks are the Annihilator is the huge thing. Like you get
mhm,
this like massive thing on the top, and the Goliath I think is another one, where you're just like a massive tank. It costs more points, like I was talking about earlier, to do those because they hit harder and they take more damage and stuff. And then one of the ones that I really liked, it doesn't sound like maybe you tried it and stuff, is oh no, this thing isn't working. Anyways, it looks like it has you can see the tracks on both sides
yeah, that's
of
cool.
it, and it's smaller and it has like a minigun on it.
Yeah, I've seen that one. Yeah,
Yeah, so it doesn't take like one hit and you're done because there's a couple small ones that do that. But because it moves so fast and actually the minigun is actually kind of strong, I was like, oh, I like this one, and it doesn't cost that many points. So if you die and make a couple mistakes, you're kind of okay.
nice.
But it's true that all reliable is kind of ill reliable for a reason. So,
Yeah,
um, but yeah, regardless of which one you pick, there's a bunch of weapons like the pick up, like add or upgrades to your weapon, different types of weapons that you can pick.
yep.
And
And like I said, the nuke
yeah,
that was pretty crazy.
it's nuts,
You just throw it
and
out,
it's in both games. It's
it
in both
just
games. So
obliterates everything, which was
like
amazing.
I thought it was gonna be you know like some things that you blow up in the environment create this like ring around it that damage you and everything else and sort of like level some buildings and enemies. I thought it was going to be that, but you fire it off, right?
Yep.
But it blows up like 50% of the level, it
Yeah.
seems. It's just like
It's
eh,
scary when you launch it.
it,
It's like nuke launched or whatever. I don't know if it announced. It does
so
something
it
and it
does. It
like
does say
when you
something like that. Yeah, yeah.
it scared me. I was like, "Oh no." And then I immediately had the sense of dread like I need to get out of here and I couldn't and my
Oh
tank
no, what
was
have
like
I done?
destroyed. Um but aside from the nuke, I used these missiles that are actually on screen right now that shoot out like 3 at
Yeah,
once. I use those
the
quite a bit. The
swarmers. That's it.
swarmers, yes.
Yeah,
Oh, the grenade, that just popped up. That
yes,
is I hated that one.
yeah. It was not
It's
good. It's not
trash.
great.
It's like you
Yeah.
press it I would shoot it at an enemy, I'm like, "Okay, it's gonna blow up anytime now." And then I'd be, like, waiting and be like, "Did it blow up? I can't
Yeah.
tell."
What
Like
kept happening to me was I found one use for it. which I'll talk about in a sec. But what I kept doing was the same thing, wondering like, oh, when's it going to blow? Like you think like, okay, you shoot it, maybe even on contact. If it hits the enemy, it might blow up.
Yeah,
It might bounce and then hit an enemy and blow up, right? That's happened before in
feels
games. Makes
natural.
sense. But it does not do that. It just like bounces a couple times. You can't see it. I think just because of the graphic fidelity and just whatever, the game just you can't really see where
Yeah.
it goes. You see when it first fires off the top of your tank, but then after that, it's kind of a guessing game. I ran over it so many times and it like destroyed my tank. I'm like, well, fuck. What the hell am I using this thing for?
Oh my gosh.
The two things actually that I use them for was when there's mines, because driving over mines pretty much blow you up right away.
Yep.
The
I
grenade is great
definitely
for
have lost
that.
a few tanks just driving over mines, and I'm
Yeah,
like,
because they're also a
crap.
little bit difficult to see on the ground sometimes.
Yep.
And then the other one was there's an enemy tank. I don't know if there's a name for them or not, where they're armored in the front, and no matter what you do in the front of them, you cannot blow them up. You have
Mm,
to find a way around them. So what I did was I just fired a bunch of grenades and then backed up, and then they would basically blow up behind them, and then it would blow up the enemy tank. Um, didn't happen
nice.
too often because you still have to sort of kind of skill shot it, and it's not that easy to do. But I would find a way to have like a bunch of them, and then just keep firing them, and then if I ran into mines, I'd be like, well, shit. But
Yep.
at least I could do something with them. Um, but that's it. I think those are the only uses. I don't know how anybody would use them for anything else. I really don't. Um, the swarmers is really funny because I thought for the longest time they were called swarmies. So I kept
Swarmies, go. I like it better. I
swarmies.
like that
Yeah.
better.
So do I. And it would kind of fit because the movie, because the game's, kind of like corny, whatever. They call it a swarmy.
Oh, that was cool. They just used the teleporter.
The teleporter thing is another thing, which zooms you to a location that's supposed to be, um, I think, close to the objective or something. And then some of the other levels, it shoots you close to like your base, but I don't know. I don't think it tells you where it's going to take you. So it's just kind of like press it and see where it goes,
Get out of
kind of thing.
danger free card, basically.
Yeah, that's right. That's a good way to put it. What else was there? So you said the nuke. There's also there's mines. You can drop
Yep.
mines as well,
Yep.
which are kind of cool. Those worked on the sort of bunkers where some of the tanks come out of. I put them in front of those, so less enemies would be populating the areas and stuff. Um, and then there's also what's a good thing about the swarm thing is like because the control, like we were talking about before, is very much it's only about which way you're facing. It kind of gives you a little bit of help and acts almost like a shotgun. Is pretty much what it is.
Mm,
So you don't have to be as precise, which sometimes with some of the enemies you really have to do,
yeah.
and it's easy to miss sometimes some of the smaller enemies. So
Yeah,
it kind of helps you out that way.
there's the cloaking
Oh yeah,
device.
okay, yeah.
So you can turn invisible. Uh Here, let me look at my list here.
And
Uh
most of these are available in most levels. I would say, like you don't get everything every single level, but they don't really pretend, they don't really like hide it behind later levels. Most of the weapons, like you're able to actually
mhm.
use most of them after like the first couple stages. You kind of have used most things that are available, and it's fun to mess around with them and them to create different
Yeah.
scenarios for you to use them. So,
Yeah. There's the
yeah,
laser too.
the laser, yeah.
Yep.
Is the laser the green one that bounces like crazy? Because that thing was crazy. That thing was wild.
No,
Um,
well, the laser's blue.
blue. Okay.
The There is, oh yeah, yeah, it's the special laser. There's a special one.
Is it called special laser?
Laser special. I'm not
That's
even
great.
joking. Yeah,
That's hilarious.
there's like separate things because there's a swarmer special as well.
Oh, that's right. Oh, there is. That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah, so the green one's cool because you shoot it at an enemy and then it like bounces to the next one. It's almost like a homing missile in some ways. And does like a decent amount of damage. I thought that one was kind of cool.
Ricochet.
Yeah, but it was rare. It's one of the ones
Yeah.
that's harder to find and stuff.
And then Turbo looks pretty dope.
Turbo's pretty
They were just
crazy.
launching that, but that was awesome.
I used it a couple times with the smaller tanks that are already fast, and you go off like some of those like ramp things that they
Yeah,
have set up randomly, and you really go flying. Like it's like you are doing a stunt. It's hilarious.
it's awesome.
It's really good. Does it do anything? I don't think so. I think it's
No,
just,
it just looks
maybe you
cool.
can get out of dodge a little bit and you can kind of, move out of the way and stuff, but
Gotta
like
go fast.
it must go faster.
That's it.
That's pretty much it. And then yeah, then there's health pickups, of course, and stuff like that.
Mhm.
But um and then the other big thing as far as the gameplay goes and all the added sort of things you can do is the destructibility.
Yep. Yep.
That's a big part of this game because you don't necessarily have to destroy a bunch of buildings. Some levels actually do require you destroy this or destroy that, but it's more about destroying other enemies than it is about actual buildings. But the buildings are not only all over the place in most of the stages, but when you knock them down, it opens up the map and you get pickups from it too. You get items and health and things like that. So there's an advantage to it.
I always like driving over the trees.
Yeah,
Well, let's see. I don't know if they're gonna do it at some point, but it's really cool. You drive over they look like little pieces of paper or cardboard. They're
yeah,
just like dunk and just
yeah.
flatten under you. It's awesome. Very
It's like
satisfying.
it's like the sort of older sports games where like all the crowd are just look like pieces of paper moving up and down. That's what the trees look
Yes.
like.
That's
but
exactly
they're
right.
but they're not cheering you on. They're just waiting for you to run them over. That's
Yep.
pretty much it.
It's pretty cool how destructive the environment is. That's definitely like you may look at this game and be like, "Oh, okay, it looks pretty basic. Like your
Hmm.
tank is like a bunch of rectangles put together. Like it looks like a tank. It's fine. Kind of muddy, kind of nothing spectacular about the graphics, but it's like you can destroy everything, like walls, ground, poles, like
Yep.
it's awesome to just go and
Most of the buildings, I'd say there's a couple that are sort of like borders to levels you can't
yeah,
destroy, but you don't feel like, oh, that sucks. Like it's just okay, fine, whatever. I just
like, oh, that's the end. That's the end of the level. I
yeah,
gotta move
yeah,
around it.
exactly. And then the map is always available to you. You don't always have a radar, which you have to pick up to kind of tell you where enemies are, but the map gives you an idea of a general sense of where you need to go anyways, or where the end of the level is. So it's not a huge deal. But I would say like what 70 to 80% of these stages in every stage is destructible.
Yeah.
Um, and that's awesome. Like is it like playing, any kind of modern game where it's like really elaborate? No, but it's not it's still fun. It adds a lot to it. I thought that like it's almost like strategy sometimes. I saved buildings sometimes
Mhm.
for when I would respawn to be like, oh, I'm probably gonna need because when you die, you lose the weapons that you were holding. So that's one of the disadvantages to it. So yes, you can collect points again, and yes, you can respawn and keep going and stuff like that. But you have to recollect your grenades and your swarmers and like those types, and they're teleporting and things like that. I would save those buildings and be like, oh, I got to go back to that spot so I can pick up more items because eventually you will run out if you just keep dying. They don't just randomly populate. Like there's a set a finite amount of items for you to pick up. So it was kind of a random strategy I didn't think would ever be in it, and kind of one that I just sort of adopted as I went along. And it's just cool to see these giant buildings just blow up around you.
Yeah.
You
Blow
get to blow
stuff
up.
up.
You get to blow up the White House. You get to blow up the White House. It's crazy in the second one, at least, because I think the enemies take it over, or like buildings around the White House. They don't really. I think it's buildings around the White House, like in front of it, or something like
No
that.
one
But
can take the White House. It's an
no,
impenetrable fortress.
unless the people inside do it themselves.
That's right.
That's pretty much how it goes, I guess.
What is that par
It's cool
Parks
too
and Rec?
because the second one takes you to Europe and stuff too, so you get to go to different spots, which is fun. Um,
I was gonna say Parks and Rec, America's whitest house.
yes, that's right.
It's pretty funny.
Man, I love that show.
It's a good show.
Um, It's incredible. Yeah, so the second one too, you're not just going to US states and cities. It takes you into London, it takes you into London, and I think you go to Switzerland. There's a couple countries you go into. And that's kind of fun, just kind of changes the locale. It doesn't
Mhm.
really change the gameplay a ton, but at least you're kind of looking at different aesthetics and
Hence the name Global Assault.
global assault. Yeah.
Yep.
So according to the secret papers, we capture. Oh, check. We should be able to capture her computer data on the edge. This is
The
just a random.
Edge.
But Griffin, I'm worried about Brandon. Can't we put him in a safe place for this battle? Yes, you can, and then you will lose him. Let's see where else. Oh, Champs Elysees. So you go to France. France is another one.
So yeah, it's cool.
And
This game, we sort of hinted at it, but this game legitimately has cutscenes, which is really cool. And
yes, that's right.
they're like gameplay. How would you describe it? Like in-game cutscenes. They're not
Yeah, like in engine,
like
in
siege.
engine
Yeah,
cutscenes.
in
Yeah,
engine. Yeah.
yeah.
So it's kind of neat.
Um,
They set it up and they do things. They're driving over onto a boat. They're gonna transport their tanks through a boat. They're gonna and then
yeah,
it's
like a
like
little thing we
dialogue
were just
underneath it.
underneath it. Yeah, exactly. It sort of has like a little. It sets the scene, right? And why, which is why, like, it. I didn't expect to talk about a story for a game like this at all when we said we were going to play it, but it somehow it seems like, oh well, yeah, you almost have to, because why the fuck else are you doing all this?
Yeah,
And they go out of their way to have scenes like that, like you're saying. So it's worth paying attention to. Is it amazing? No, but who cares? Like, at least you get to have some corny 80s fun with it. Like, at least there's something there.
yeah,
Um,
definitely. Just kind of went for it. It's like here you
yeah,
go, and
it's
that's BattleTanx, baby.
that's it. That's what it is. It's I I would say you could play the first one, but I don't know that I really thought about the first one once I started playing the second one. Not gonna lie. Like, it just does everything better in my opinion. Um, it's cool. Maybe there's something about the multiplayer that stands out when you're actually playing with other people that would make it, oh, I prefer this mode, or I like the way this feels, or this map, or whatever. That's not what my experience was because I didn't play it that way. But
Yeah.
um, the solo campaign I played all the way through on Global Assault, and I played about half of it as far as I can tell on the first one, and then I played, a few stages of the Game Boy Color one, and I'd rather play the Game Boy Color one than the first one, and I'd rather play Global Assault over all of them any day.
Hmm.
That's kind of my opinion with them. So, um, and as much as, like you said, the multiplayer is probably like a pretty good focus of what these games probably are, sort of like longevity wise and replayability, I still had a good time with the campaign. I thought it was still pretty fun. Um,
Yeah,
some
it's
stages I
competent.
felt
Huh?
were really short, and other ones lasted way too long.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
don't know what that's about, but like, I can't remember which stage it is. It's something about, I don't know if it was a rescue one or something, but
Rescue's
I
always
ended up killing like 50 tanks or 60 tanks or something in like 20 minutes, and I was like, what am I supposed to do
why?
again? Yeah, like, what am I doing in this
Yeah,
again? And like, there's no way to check what your, well, no, there is a way to check what your objective is, but it doesn't really spell it out super clearly. So I'm like, am I just driving around in circles doing the wrong thing and guys just keep spawning?
yeah. Well, I can say that even in like the first one, it's like the second mission or something. It's like
Yeah.
destroy 15 tanks, and then the map is like really big, and so you're driving around, and it's just like, can they just be in front of me? Like,
Yeah.
it just takes forever.
Yeah.
And some of those missions are just kind of like that. I think it's just the nature of the beast, though. You
Hmm.
have to you have to really like this gameplay. Like for me, this is okay. It's not like anything mind blowing. I don't think I'm gonna sit there and like this is not a game that I'm gonna sit there and play through and be like, oh, I love BattleTanks, but it's fine, and I don't
It's
regret playing
serviceable.
it. It's serviceable.
Yeah.
I think if there was ever a time to do multiplayer, like this would be the type of game that would release on NSO.
Yes.
We'd somehow get BattleTanks before we got Donkey Kong 64, but that's
Yep.
just me
Yep. That
complaining.
and before Diddy
Um,
Kong Racing, we'd
yeah,
get
and before
those. Yeah.
Diddy Kong Racing, yeah, we'll get
Yep.
BattleTanks, and
Yep.
but actually online this could be really fun. I could
Oh,
see
it
this
would be
getting really
great.
intense.
It would be
So
yeah, it would actually be, there's a lot here with the mechanics that we've been talking about. You add those sort of, the points and the respawning and the destructible environments and stuff. Like, there's something there for a multiplayer, and to just open it up to people that haven't played it like ourselves. Like, let's say this was on NSO and this is how we played it. We'd be like, "Oh shit. We're going to get online and we're going to try this out for sure." Like,
that's
this is the
right.
way even if we didn't know if it was good or not, we'd be like, "We got to try the multiplayer." Like, you're a tank. You gotta blow shit up. You got the destructible
Yeah.
environments. Like, it lends itself to that. So
Literally
I
the
mean, who
name
knows?
Battle
But
Tanks makes you think multiplayer.
Yeah, yeah.
Like, yeah,
You're
that's what we're
battling.
gonna do. We're gonna battle tanks
That's right. Yeah, with an X.
with an X. So you know it's cool.
It's not pluralized. It's with an X.
Yes.
That's a
Battle
distinct
tanks, like
tanks.
Hanks.
Tanks X X X X.
Hanks.
Um, yeah, I is it like are these like the greatest games ever? No, but I do think that there was a better time to be had here than I actually probably would have thought. And it's a little clunky, despite it not being a tank control game like you described. Aspects of it are a little clunky, but it doesn't take away from it just being a good time. Oh, this level is kind of cool because you have to like go under the Eiffel Tower and destroy this like I don't know, I can't remember what it is. So like it takes you to cool places. Global Assault does a cool job of sort of changing things, and the maps feel a little bit bigger, but not as sort of sparse as like what you were describing. So that's why I liked it more. Yeah, and then the last thing is the edge thing that I was describing earlier about this like power that you have. You just randomly get it one level, and it says I don't know if you got to this point, but it says it's supposed to like the enemies are using the edge. That's why they stole your kid to control other tanks. But then when I used it in the game, it was like the nuke and just blew a bunch of stuff up. And I was like, oh, okay. So so it's not that? I was kind of confused. I don't
They don't
know.
even know what the edge is.
They don't even know they haven't heard you too, I guess. I don't know. Um it's fine. It's fine. It's whatever. It's a very minor squib or whatever. But I say give these games a shot. You can go to the first one first, but I just think that there's just more variety and more, especially if you're going to play it solo. The solo experience in the second one is far far better. So I do think that is the direction to go. And if you have a Game Boy Color lying around or an emulation device, give the color game a chance too. They're decent games. They're decent
I
games.
will say
Like
that the plot in the first one, I think, is like a big draw because I think, I mean, this one's obviously piggybacking off of that, but that first like cutscene and stuff, like it genuinely made me laugh. It was just so
yes,
ridiculous,
yeah,
and
that,
the whole thing is like that.
yeah. But that's the basis of everything that you're doing in both games starts with that opening like
Yeah,
crawl of 3 minutes or whatever it is, and you're just like, holy shit, I have to play this.
yeah, like
it's so
ridiculous.
it's so fucking weird. Yeah, so I guess you'd probably kind of say the same thing. It's not great, but it's worth your time and worth playing.
Yeah, it's
um
solid. It's solid.
yeah,
It's not bad by any means. It's like a C experience, like pretty much like mid. Like
very mid.
it's not bad at all, but it's just it doesn't like blow
It
my
doesn't blow
mind or
you away.
anything.
Yeah, it doesn't blow you away. There's aspects of it that are cool that you're like, wow, this is really great that they have this, like the destructible environments and the variety of tanks in the second one. But the rest of it is just like, okay, yeah, I get it. This is what I expected, I think is what you said earlier. Like
Yeah.
I kind of this is kind of what I feel like this game would have felt like, and that's what a lot of it has to offer as far as the core sort of point A to point B and blowing up enemies kind of gameplay. That's what you get. It's going to be
Yeah.
what you
I
expect.
wonder
So,
if adding something like an on foot, like third person shooting experience and like you could get out of the tank and like go to another tank or something, or like
mm-hmm.
something like that, I feel would break it up a little bit because
Right.
it just gets repetitive. I think that's its main thing. It just gets a little repetitive with what you have to do. Even
Yeah.
with variety, you're still in the tank. You're still like doing the
That's
same thing,
right.
right?
Right.
Your mission might be slightly different, but you're still doing the same
You're still
thing.
driving a tank,
You're still driving a
no matter
tank and
what.
shooting everything in sight, basically.
Yeah, yeah. That's true. We've talked about this with other games before too. Is it like a game that would benefit some sort of remake or remaster type of idea? I think you could do that, but I think it would be a different game. Like I think you would have those elements that you're just describing. Like they wouldn't just make it the same game. It wouldn't
No, not at all.
feel
Be
quite the
totally different.
same. Yeah, you'd have more what we would have expected from tank controls to it, I would assume. But as far as like the minute to minute gameplay and stuff, I feel like it would just be the BattleTanks name that you're getting rather than what you're playing, which in some ways is good that it would change, but in other ways it's like, well, I kind of like the sort of corniness and like semi mid nature of the first. Like there's some charm to that in this game, or in these games, and I don't know if it would benefit hugely from having some sort of remake.
Right. And one
Um,
thing we didn't talk about, but it genuinely confused me a little
yes,
bit because this is made by the company 3DO,
yes.
and 3DO is famous for the Panasonic 3DO, the 3DO system. It's not necessarily Panasonic, but it's
Listen to
the
the
3D.
3DO experience, everybody. They actually
This
talked about this game.
Yes, this is a 3DO game for sure
Yes.
that is, like, on N64, and it's like, it's so interesting. It's so
Yeah.
interesting because it's totally there, like,
You could
awesome.
tell it's their style and all those things.
Yes,
Yeah.
and that
Yeah.
company is now, like, totally gone, but
Oh, yeah. Like just it's been decades since they've been around, right? And I think there's sort of a little bit, depending on who you ask and depending on which games or if you've played their console or whatever, they're kind of very like very 90s, and that's
yeah.
exactly this feels like a corny 80s movie, but it's also very 90s at the same time, and that's a
The
mark
look of
for that company, I think.
Yeah, the look of the tank, it almost reminded me like I was getting, like, Cruis'n USA vibes, like, it had, like,
Oh my
this
god. Yeah, it's like
arcadey, boxy look to it that I was just like,
yeah.
"This reminds me of Cruis'n USA."
It's that art style,
Yeah,
and sort of aesthetic and things like that. Yeah. At times the game looks is I preferred the levels that were a little brighter,
yeah,
because things are a little bit muddy and stuff like that. So, and your tank is gray and the enemies are black, and like it's just sort of, which okay, I guess makes sense, but also like it would be nice to brighten things up a little bit. So these outdoor stages like the one we're watching now, I found to be a little bit more enjoyable just because it's just easier on the eyes and easier to sort of follow
mhm.
along and stuff. So um, it doesn't break the game necessarily to play the evening ones, but the daytime stuff was better. It's an okay looking game. It's okay. Like you mentioned, the way the tanks look, they look fine. Um,
Yeah,
but
and they
at
get
least you,
battle damage as you go, like, as you get hurt
yeah,
and
that's
stuff, which
true.
is kinda
That's
neat.
true. Yeah, the health bar sort of goes down, and then you kind of your leftover Chinese boxes kind of crumple
Yep,
as
yep.
you get damaged. So,
Too much soup.
um, yeah, too much wonton. Um, don't don't put the wonton in boxes, kids. That's a lesson we've learned from BattleTanx.
Yes. Don't do it.
Don't do it, kids. But do give these games a shot. And I do think that this would be great on NSO. I agree. I think we're both sort of on the same page with that. So that would be something we can cross our fingers with. But 3DO, who knows where the hell this game even sits right now? It could be absolutely anywhere, or it could be absolutely nowhere, which is a lot of
Right.
that could be just as likely. So, all right. BattleTanx and BattleTanx Global Assault and BattleTanx on Game Boy Color. That is your run through there. Jiggy, look back. What's been happening, sir? It's the summer months as of this recording right now, and how's things been going? Keeping yourself busy as usual, as I usually say, and
Oh,
you
yeah, me
usually agree
keeping
with,
myself
because that is
busy.
the case.
Yeah, that's definitely the case. I've been doing a lot more live streams these days. I need to,
Yeah, yeah.
June has been kind of a slow content month for me, not because I haven't been making it, but because it's summer and I just say I was on a vacation.
Yep.
Then I got back and now we got a kitten and now it's like, oh man, time just like flies by.
Life
But
gets in the
now
way, buddy. Life gets in
life
the
gets
way.
in the way
Yeah,
but you know what? I'm coming back. I'm coming back with more content. I got a bunch of stuff planned, so
love it.
stay tuned. And
Love it.
until then, more Remember 64.
Yeah, we got a couple of good games that we're already trying to line up, and probably a little bit more. So we'll keep an eye on social media at Remember 64 Show for all of that. Perfect Dark is coming up this summer. If you're listening to this when this comes out, or
Oh
pretty
yeah.
soon, so
That's gonna
2025
be a
in
good
summer.
one.
So that's finally coming up. And then we have Vroom Vroom a month, which will be August of 2025. We're
Yes.
gonna play some racing
Yes.
games, different variety of racing games. So far, I've put a poll on the YouTube page and on Instagram of 3 choices to narrow down at least one of our choices. As of right now, episode 1 Pod Racer is or Pod Racing
Heck
is
yeah.
is leading the way out of the 3 choices there. We're also going to be playing F-Zero X, and more than likely also going to be playing. Is it Hot Wheels? What's the full
Hot
title?
Wheels Turbo Racing.
Turbo Racing, which is one that we meant to play like so long ago. Jiggy's been excited for it for a while. I've never really played it, so
Oh, yeah.
I'm happy that we're gonna put that
Actually,
on the list.
all
So
3 of the games we just mentioned, I have experience with all of them and loved all of them. So,
yeah. I mean, at least 2. If Pod Racer ends up winning, which it seems like it probably will, Hydro Thunder is also in the race with that
oh,
one too,
yeah.
and Ridge Racer. Those are the 3 choices. But go to the YouTube page for Remember 64 and you can vote on that. I'm gonna keep it up for a while, and then if we get a couple extra votes that run in here and there, it'll sort of space things out or whatever. But that's where we're headed for the summer. And maybe another game or 2 over the next couple of months as well to throw in there. But those are the ones that are lined up at the moment. And then, of course, you can always support the show, patreon.com/remember64 show, episodes early. I'm trying to do some new videos that I did actually with BattleTanx, where I kind of do a short 1 minute, 2 minute thing of, hey, this is what I've been playing so far and what I think of the game so far, in the middle of being able to sort of do like a mini progress review, I guess you could say, before the actual recording. So that's something that patrons can get as well. And like, subscribe, share with your friends, all that fun stuff. That is I think. Oh, rate the
yeah,
podcast.
there you go.
Rate the podcast. Yes. Jiggy was giving me the eye. Give me
Give
the
the
eye.
stars.
The stink eye. The stink eye and the good stars. That's what we're doing. So
It's more like the raised eyebrows, like,
the
oh, oh,
raise.
okay.
Hey.
We did it.
I
We did
did
it.
it. And as I said off top of the show, check out consolecreatures.com, the Creature Cast on your podcast apps and YouTube, as well as PlayStation Generation, which talks about all the latest PlayStation news and games and fun stuff coming up. And we'll try to have some of those guys on Remember 64 as well as time goes on. But again, the show's not going to change. Our ideas, the games we're going to cover, guests we're going to have on, pretty much everything's going to stay the same. We're just part of a different family at the moment, and that is exciting stuff because I love working with these guys. They're great people and they do great work, great writing, great podcasts. So check them out. Until next time, everybody, blow up some buildings and save the world.
Battle some tanks.
Battle some tanks and save the world with the edge.
Save the
See you
women.
later.
Save the world.
Save the women, save the world. Pretty much. That's it, everybody. Thank you very much. Goodbye.